Today's shoutout of the day goes to Animated Terror. Subscribe to them in the link in the description.
There we go.
Greetings, my fellow nice. I Sir Delonius, and so before this video even starts, I'd like to talk about a few things really quick. First off, that Animal Crossing video blew up. Why? I had no idea that many people didn't know about this, and it honestly actually makes me happy that I was able to help people save money and get the villagers they love so dearly. Except Rayman. Like, at first, I honestly didn't know that he didn't have an amiibo until a week after the video had been up. How was I supposed to know that? So yeah, any newcomers in the game, such as Dom, Raymond, and that one elephant guy, I don't remember his name, but they don't have amiibos yet. So, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. All in all, I'm super thankful that I was able to help out. For those of you wondering where the video is, it's unlisted right now, because I do not want Nintendo on my back, because people are price gouging for amiibos. So until further notice, I'm leaving it as unlisted. Feel free to email me if you really need the link to the video. Check my about section on my channel. There it is. It'll just ask if you're a robot. And then I'll send you the link. Unless you're Nintendo themselves. Then you don't get the unicorn! Oh! Second thing, I deeply appreciate the new subscribers that have just recently found out that I exist. I will do my best to deliver the content you guys deserve. After Animal Crossing, though, I don't think you guys will enjoy this one, because the game I'm talking about is such a tonal shift that I don't think it'll be anything of interest to you. But forget that, I'm talking about it anyways. Speaking of the game I'm going to talk about, Bones. They sometimes work.
Oh, my arms! My arms are stuck on the other side!
What I'm talking about is Stress Level Zero's 2019 PC VR only title, Boneworks. Yeah, I know, I thought the title made no sense. Let's just roll with it. For those of you unfamiliar with Stress Level Zero's work, they're the same guys who made Duck Season 2 years ago. The game was phenomenal. They also made that. It was quite understandable why not many people enjoyed hover junkers. Like, it was honestly a pretty cool concept and could have been a hit, but online-only games never do that well in my opinion. So their decision to switch to single-player games with super intriguing story was the right move. Wait, there was a story? Yeah, at first glance, or I guess entire playthrough, this game just looks like an awesome tech demo with a slight story but not much else. Yep, Boneworks is one of those games where the story is not super clear unless you decide to dig deep and really find out it's a really well-written story, which connects to the Duck Season 1, which already had an awesome story. I'm not gonna get into the story since it's kinda complicated. If you at least want to premise game theory, he's your guy. From what I know, he's one of the only YouTubers I've seen try to cover the story aspect of the game. I'm here to talk about how Boneworks is an odd yet pretty amazing game. First, I wanted to talk about gameplay. Boy, does it have it! Stress Level Zero decided to take the smooth locomotion only route, and I think it made this game great. Teleportation would have been super wonky in my opinion, which reminds me, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've heard, Valve actually asked Stress Level Zero for help regarding the smooth locomotion setting for Half-Life Alyx, which I'm super glad happened. I'm about to express an opinion many may not agree with, but the jumping in Half-Life Alyx is lame. Boneworks was able to implement jumping mechanics that legitimately made sense. Then there's Alyx. Whoa, what? Like, I'm sorry, you call this a jump? I was very confused about that, but I'm glad Stress Level Zero was able to give us normal jumping. I get the normal jumping might have been motion sickening to some, but Valve could have at least added an option or whatever. Okay, rant over. Using guns in Boneworks is so freaking satisfying. I've done it so much that I've just gotten in the groove of loading guns like bam, bam, and bam. The gun physics are beyond amazing and makes you feel awesome while doing it. Aiming on the guns could be better, but I'm pretty happy with the way they are. Now melee on the other hand, at least Boneworks has it. Boy! Joking aside, the melee in this game is alright. It could use some serious improvements, such as when my weapons get way too stuck in enemies and are sometimes a pain to pull out, so I just end up pulling out a fetching gun. Overall, it's at least functional and works well. Speaking of the enemies! They're actually not bad. The null body's dorky. Hey! It's pretty funny, and it's a sign that they definitely know you're near. They're not all that hard to defeat though, and are pretty much your basic enemies. The crablets feel a little derivative of Half-Life's head crabs, but it didn't bother me too much. Unless there's a freaking 100 of them! The way that they are little VR headsets is pretty cool, actually. I also love how you can use them as a weapon as well. Thought it was a really cool addition. The 4 early exits, or zombies, are pretty much slightly smarter null bodies. They have a chance of spawning with laser abilities, which scared the crap out of me the first time I saw them.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
They can actually be pretty difficult to ward off when there's many of them together, which brings in quite the challenge. The Omnitive Projectors are Stress Level Zero's way of making a pretty weak Combine, but I absolutely love them. The way of what they're saying is unintelligible, like the first time you meet the Combine in Half-Life, is awesome. Also, how they are literally rolling around on a ball as a projection is a pretty unique idea, and I like it a lot. They're really hard to deal with in numbers, as with all these enemies, but are too simple when there's just one. Either shoot the heck out of their roller or bash their head in. That works too! King crabs, they're literally huge crablets. Put that on your resume. I killed a king crab with a dagger. And the last enemy are clones of yourself.
What up, son?
These guys actually team up with you unless you hurt one of them. Then you're in for a world of hurt. Actually, one of the clones names himself as King, and you actually have to fistfight with him. It's weird and didn't make any sense the first time I played. I always wanted to be in a fistfight with myself. The physics system the game is set up is pretty great. The way that you can interact with 90% of the environment is really cool. It makes the game way more immersive, and that's what I want in a VR game. I love how they went out of their way to weight certain objects, like almost how they'd weigh in real life. The system does have its issues. Believe me, it does. But overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. With this system, they decided to give the player a fully modeled body. While that's cool and everything, this comes with some set of problems, and I hope they'll fix it in their next game. The problem I have with the fully modeled body is my hands can sometimes go through walls, but I can't get my hands back in because they're stuck on the other side. It doesn't happen a ton, but boy when it happens is it frustrating. I can't move. The pacing in this game is weird, but it works well. Bit by bit it takes you through these at first glance bland looking environments, but the more you play the more it grows on you. And the levels are made this way on purpose, so in this case it adds to the charm. You go through what looks like a city, then a runoff, some sewers, a giant warehouse, a train station, a huge mall looking thing, then things start getting interesting. What the heck is this ball thing, and why is there organ music playing? Yeah, at this point things start getting a little tense. This is the time tower you were told to reset. It's a tower, alright. The music that plays here really tells you that something is up, and holy fetch is this level difficult! You have to grab this gravity staff thingy, pick up these sphere thingies, stick them in the cannon things, then you aim them and shoot, hoping it lands in the slot. Oh, and if it does, enemies start spawning. Harder ones start showing up the more spheres you get into the slots.
Great!
Once that's done, you're transported to this actually weird kind of area.
Oh! A demon!
Hey look, my sleep paralysis demon! That's okay, I didn't want to sleep tonight. Yep, you're seeing this right. This game did a total 180 and went from cool first-person shooter to unsettling in under 5 seconds. Record time too. Now once you open the Boneworks store, this is where things take a slight tonal change. You appear in this dungeon with your clone right in front of you, mimicking almost everything you do. You have to move in a way that your copy will push the button to your left to unlock the door for you. You then make your way through this dungeon and end up in an arena fighting the zombies, now with headsets on. Your king copy then is impressed, inviting you to his castle for that fist fight.
About that
fist fight
I owed you.
After beating him up, you're taken to the Voidway to climb this ever so frustrating ladder all the way up to see the ending. The ending felt kind of like a cliffhanger, so I hope they tie this up in either Project 4 or even Dead FM. On to another point, the soundtrack. Oh my freaking gosh, the soundtrack is so good. Each track stands so well on its own, and Michael Wyckoff did such an amazing job crafting the music for this game. Some personal favorite tracks of mine are Bone Theme, Creeping, Ambient A, Midnight Void Dark, Pick It Up, and Opera de Oceum. Speaking of the music, Pick It Up! Supposedly that song was supposed to be just an Easter egg for a future Stress Level Zero game, but it was so high in demand they added it to this soundtrack just because. And I appreciate that, because Pick It Up is really catchy. You should definitely give it a listen if you haven't already. After finishing the game, you now have 2 modes to mess around in, Sandbox and Arena. Arena is the same as the Arena level in the campaign, but this time it's certain waves/trials of all enemies, and it's pretty darn fun. Sandbox mode is pretty much just Boneworks Gmod, and it works really well. You unlock weapons and NPCs and items in Sandbox by replaying the game and looking for them in the campaign, and throwing them into the reclamation bins at the end of each level to add them to the Sandbox mode. Obligatory what am I missing post. On to my last point, the DLC Sandbox levels. Technically it's free DLC, or just a free update, but you know. First, there's the Redacted Chamber. This one is reminiscent of the beta map from when the game first began development a few years ago, and it was pretty freaking cool to see this here. You go in a loop a few times until you just unlock the next level by using Boneworks' gravity gun to launch the handgun range module into the reclamation bin, then completing the loop. The handgun range felt like another normal level, and it was glorious. They added a new gun here, the handgun. It's an in-betweener for the other two pistols in the game. Don't hate me if it's not exactly what they are. I'm not a huge gun nerd. It's the medium power of the three, the black and light blue one being the weakest, while the orange and black one is the more powerful one. The last level is called Tuscany, as shown off in the Boneworks Oculus Store reveal trailer. It's literally just a house from Tuscany, Italy, and it's great. And so, here we are. Boneworks is an awesome first-person shooter for VR that really takes VR physics to the next level. I honestly can't wait for their next games. Project 4 sounds really cool, Dead FM sounds creepy and cool, Hall of the Machine King definitely is the one I'm looking forward to the most, but any game they come out with will definitely be awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. I deeply appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. See you later, and slay your dragons.